The night sky over Konoha was a canvas of flickering stars, their light dimmed by the ominous crimson glow of a full moon. It was a night of tension, of whispered legends and gathering storms, as the five great nations braced for an unseen threat. Deep within the Uchiha clan's abandoned compound, shadows shifted unnaturally, and the air hummed with the crackling energy of awakened dojutsu. The Mangekyō Legion, a rogue faction of Uchiha survivors, each bearing the cursed eyes of their lineage, had emerged from the darkness, their vengeance a blade poised to strike at the heart of the shinobi world. At the forefront stood their leader, Ryota Uchiha, his Sharingan spinning into the intricate pattern of the Mangekyō. His cloak, embroidered with the Uchiha fan, billowed in the wind as he surveyed the distant glow of Konoha's lights. "Tonight," he murmured, his voice a whisper of steel, "the world will remember the price of betrayal." His comrades, 6 in total, stood behind him, their eyes alight with the same deadly power. Among them was Ayame, her Mangekyō granting her mastery over illusions so potent they could unravel a mind with a glance, and Daigo, whose Susanoo burned with emerald flames, its skeletal form already flickering into existence. Their motives were clear: the five nations had once united to purge the Uchiha, fearing their power. Now, the Legion would return that fear tenfold. Unbeknownst to them, the cage of the five nations had already sensed the gathering storm. In a secret summit beneath the Hokage's office, Naruto Uzumaki stood with his arms crossed, his usual grin replaced by a hardened resolve. Beside him, Gaara's-san stirred restlessly, while the Raikage cracked his knuckles, lightning flickering along his skin. "They won't take Konoha without a fight," Naruto said, his voice low but unwavering. The first strike came without warning. A barrage of Amaterasu flames erupted over the village's eastern wall, black fire devouring everything it touched. Shouts of alarm rang out as shinobi scrambled to douse the inextinguishable flames. Then, from the smoke, the Legion descended. Ryota Susanoo, a towering specter of violet chakra, cleaved through the gate with a single swing of its massive sword. Konoha's defenders surged forward. Rock Lee, a blur of green, launched himself at Daigo, his fists a whirlwind of strikes. But Daigo Susanoo intercepted each blow, the emerald ribs absorbing the impact before retaliating with a backhand that sent Lee skidding across the ground. "You're fast," Daigo sneered, "but not fast enough." His Susanoo's arm elongated, slamming down like a meteor, only for Might Guy to intercept it with a spinning kick, the force sending shockwaves through the air. Meanwhile, Ayame locked eyes with Sakura, and the world around the kunoichi twisted. Illusions of fallen comrades, of Sasuke's lifeless body, flooded her mind. Sakura gritted her teeth, slamming a fist into the ground to disrupt her chakra flow. The genjutsu shattered just in time for her to evade Ayame's kunai, the blade grazing her cheek. "You can't outrun your regrets," Ayame taunted, her Mangekyō swirling. Sakura's fists glowed green, creation rebirth already mending her wounds, before she lunged, the earth splintering under her strength. Above them, Naruto and Ryota clashed in mid-air, Rasengan meeting Chidori in an explosion of light. The shockwave sent nearby shinobi tumbling. "You're wasting your time, Uzumaki," Ryota spat, his Susanoo's wings unfurling. "This village will burn, just like ours did." Naruto's eyes narrowed, Kurama's chakra flaring around him. "Then I'll stop you, no matter what." The battle had only just begun, but the stakes were already clear. The Mangekyō Legion's wrath would either drown the world in fire, or be extinguished by the united might of the five nations. And as the night wore on, the line between vengeance and justice blurred beneath the crimson moon. The battlefield crackled with tension as the Uchiha Eclipse loomed overhead, casting an eerie red glow over the war-torn valley. The Mangekyō Legion, an elite force of rogue Uchiha warriors, stood defiant against the combined might of the five nations' shinobi. The air hummed with chakra, the ground trembling under the weight of their unleashed power. At the forefront, Sasuke Uchiha clashed with Naruto Uzumaki, their movements a blur of speed and precision. Naruto's Rasengan spiraled in his palm, colliding with Sasuke's Chidori in a storm of blue and purple lightning. The shockwave sent debris flying as both warriors skidded back, their eyes locked in fierce determination. Naruto's Kurama cloak flared, tails lashing behind him, while Sasuke's Rinnegan pulsed with dark energy. "You won't win this, Sasuke," Naruto growled, his voice laced with the Nine-Tails growl. "You still don't understand," Sasuke countered, his Mangekyō spinning. "This world needs to be remade." Nearby, Kakashi Hatake and Might Guy fought side by side against two of the Legion's most dangerous members, Shisui Uchiha and Fugaku Uchiha. Shisui's body flickered like a phantom, his speed nearly matching Guy's 8th gate enhanced movements. Kakashi, his Sharingan active, barely managed to deflect Fugaku's fire-style jutsu, the flames licking at his flak jacket. "Guy, now," Kakashi shouted. Guy's muscles bulged as he unleashed a devastating kick. Hirudora. The air itself compressed, forming a massive tiger-shaped shockwave that barreled toward Shisui. But the Uchiha smirked, activating his Koto Amatsukami, his genjutsu twisting reality. Guy's attack veered off course, crashing into a mountainside instead. Meanwhile, Sakura Haruno battled against an awakened Izumi Uchiha, whose Mangekyō abilities warped space itself. Sakura dodged a sudden spatial rift, her fist slamming into the ground to create a crater. "You can't outmaneuver me forever," Sakura roared, channeling her Byakugu's stored chakra. Her next punch sent shockwaves through the earth, forcing Izumi to retreat. The Legion's numbers seemed endless, but the five nations' forces refused to yield. Gaara's sand surged like a tidal wave, crushing Uchiha warriors beneath its weight, while Daru's black lightning sliced through the battlefield with deadly precision. Even so, the Mangekyō's illusions and relentless assault pushed them to their limits. Then, the tide shifted. Naruto, sensing his allies' exhaustion, roared as his chakra exploded outward, manifesting his full Kurama avatar. Sasuke matched him, Susanoo's skeletal form solidifying into a winged warrior of indigo flame. The two titans collided, their clash splitting the sky. "We end this now." Naruto's voice echoed as he formed a massive Rasen Shuriken. Sasuke's Susanoo knocked an arrow of Amaterasu flames. "Then show me your resolve." The final attack loomed, destiny hanging in the balance. The battlefield held its breath. The eclipse darkened further, as if the heavens themselves awaited the outcome. The battlefield was a storm of fire and steel, the sky choked with smoke as the Mangekyō Legion clashed with the combined might of the five nations. Flames roared, lightning split the earth, and the very air trembled under the weight of unleashed chakra. Sasuke Uchiha stood at the heart of the maelstrom, his eternal Mangekyō Sharingan burning like twin suns, his Susanoo a towering specter of violet energy. Across from him, Naruto's Kurama avatar snarled, golden claws flexing as the two former friends locked eyes, one consumed by vengeance, the other refusing to let go of hope. Around them, the Legion's elite moved like shadows, their Mangekyō abilities warping reality itself. Shisui's Koto Amatsukami ensnared minds, Itachi's Tsukiyomi shattered souls, and Obito's Kamui flickered through dimensions, striking without warning. The five nations fought desperately, Gaara's sand whipping like a hurricane, Tsunade's fists cratering the earth, and Kakashi's lightning blade cutting through the chaos. But the Uchiha's power was overwhelming, each fallen comrade only fueled their rage, their eyes bleeding as they pushed their dojutsu to the brink. Naruto gritted his teeth, feeling Kurama's chakra wane. "We can't keep this up, Sasuke," he roared over the din. "This path, it'll destroy everything." Sasuke's Susanoo blade came down in a devastating arc, forcing Naruto to block with a Rasengan-laced fist. The shockwave sent fissures racing across the battlefield. "You still don't understand," Sasuke hissed, his voice raw. "The world needs to burn before it can be reborn." Then, the tide shifted. Sakura, battered but unbroken, lunged between them, her fist slamming into the ground with earth-shattering force. The impact sent Sasuke stumbling, his Susanoo flickering. "I won't let you do this," she screamed, tears streaking through the dirt on her face. For a heartbeat, Sasuke faltered, his cold mask cracking, before Itachi's voice echoed in his mind. "The choice is yours, little brother." The moment stretched, infinite. With a roar, Sasuke's Susanoo flared anew, but this time, its blade turned not on Naruto, but on the Mangekyō Legion. The betrayal sent shockwaves through the Uchiha ranks. "Traitor!" Obito snarled, Kamui warping space as he lunged. But Naruto was faster, a Rasen Shuriken spiraling into Obito's chest, the wind-style chakra shredding his defenses. One by one, the Legion fell. Shisui, realizing the futility of their cause, released his genjutsu hold. Itachi, ever the shadow, faded into the darkness with a final nod to his brother. And then, it was over. The battlefield fell silent, the air thick with the scent of charred earth and spilled blood. Sasuke collapsed to his knees, his vision blurring as the Mangekyō's toll finally claimed him. Naruto knelt beside him, a hand on his shoulder. "It's done," he whispered. Sasuke didn't answer, but the tension in his frame eased, just slightly. In the aftermath, the world would never be the same. The five nations, though victorious, bore scars that would take generations to heal. The Uchiha name, once feared, was now a symbol of both tragedy and redemption. And as the sun set over the ruined battlefield, casting long shadows over the survivors, one truth remained: the cycle of hatred had been broken, not by strength alone, but by the fragile, unyielding bonds of those who refused to let go.